Now on Coast TV News.
Smoky skies today due to Canadian wildfires. The smoky conditions slowly improve over the next few days as temperatures soar into the 80s. I'll track the smoke and the warm temperatures coming up next.
Power play. The Delaware General Assembly moves closer to overriding Sussex County's decision on a big piece of the proposed wind farm project. What occurred in the state Senate Monday night?
Fire service strain, the challenges for first responders in Sussex County that are highlighted in an upcoming report.
Coastal change, the plans for hotel rooms and a restaurant under review tonight in Ocean City.
This is Coast TV News Today.
Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us for our 5 o'clock hour.
Elisa, maybe we'll finally get that weather that feels like post-Memorial Day weather should feel like.
I think there's a good chance of that. And I was telling you and Bob yesterday, I actually saw people sitting out at the pool where I live for the first time. There were like no chairs available. And it wasn't
really?
I mean, it was nice out yesterday, but
I was thinking about it yesterday, but I have not made it to the pool.
People were there, which is a good sight, Bob. It's good to see people outside enjoying the sun. Actually, maybe feeling like June today. Could that be?
Absolutely, and good morning, Elisa and Matt. Yes, it could very well be feeling like June today. If there were a lot of folks out yesterday at the pool, even more today as it is going to warm up. We're looking at temperatures beginning in the 50s, 55 at Georgetown, 49 in Harrington, not as many 40s as we saw yesterday morning, so just a little warmer. 60 in Indian River, Inlet, and Rehoboth and Lewis right now, so a little warmer at the beaches. Calm winds, a little bit of a breeze at the coast. We have high pressure overhead and clear skies and dry conditions, so beautiful conditions for the commute this morning. What you don't see is smoke from the Canadian wildfires in the upper layers of the atmosphere. I think there's a low chance that could mix down today, but if you do have health problems, it's best just to stay inside in filtered air the next couple of days, as we will be seeing hazy, smoky skies this afternoon. Otherwise, it's high pressure in place, providing beautiful weather. So a chilly start in the 50s, but by mid-morning already 71 in Salisbury, 70 in Millsboro. And then we'll see those hazy, smoky skies as we go through the day. 80 in Long Neck, 78 in Seaford, 73 in Fenwick Island. Then here come the low 80s from Salisbury to Millsboro, Long Neck, and Ellendale by afternoon. Even some 70s at the coast, but a little cooler there, while it's much warmer inland areas. So make sure you have the sunscreen handy for today. We're going to see a beautiful sunrise and sunset due to those smoky conditions. I'll track the smoke coming up and also talk about more on the big warm-up that's headed our way this week as well. That's a little bit later in the newscast.
Thank you, Bob. And our top story this hour, new information about that controversial bill in the Delaware State Senate. If approved, it could lead to overturning decisions made by county governments. Senate Bill 159 would overturn the Sussex County Council's decision that rejected a proposed power substation near Millsboro. On Monday, it was released from the Environment, Energy, and Transportation Committee. Followed hours of testimony at Legislative Hall, many speaking against this broadening of state government powers.
To me, this is a waste of time. What the state ought to be doing is looking in the long term, and the long term is not offshore wind.
The bill, which affects the Delmarva coast, is sponsored by Democratic Senator Stephanie Hansen, who is not from Sussex County. She represents southern Newcastle County. A full Senate vote is scheduled for next week.
New this morning, potential change near the beach in Ocean City. Tonight, the town's Planning and Zoning Commission will review site redevelopment plans for a proposed 135-room hotel. According to documents we have seen, the applicant is Studio 3877 on behalf of Harrison Group's Hotels. As a part of the plans is proposed 3,800 square feet of a public restaurant. That site is at 2600 Baltimore Avenue, the current location of flagship Oceanfront Hotel.
An update this morning on a study into the financial readiness of Sussex County's volunteer fire service. A presentation from officials is expected at today's Sussex County Council meeting. At a previous report given to Council, the consulting firm says the study looked at revenue, expenditures, and other challenges like infrastructure and volunteerism. And that report says finances varied.
There are departments that have, no debt, significant reserves, and then there are companies that are really living hand to mouth.
Fire departments will have a chance to review the draft findings. Sussex County Council meets today at 10 a.m.
Also at that Sussex County Council meeting, upgrade plans continue for the Delaware Coastal Airport. According to the Airport Advisory Committee, they are looking at a new parallel taxiway. Officials will discuss an FAA Airport Improvement Program grant and construction bids. We are checking out the scene this morning in Bethany Beach. This is where Coastal Highway intersects with Route 26. The new nightly curfew for these 17 and under has just ended.
Yeah, this morning we're expecting to learn more about the effect of the curfew in Bethany Beach. Police Chief Patrick Foley scheduled to provide an update during the Police Accountability Committee meeting. Currently, people under 18 must abide by a curfew from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. According to the town, this means they cannot be in any public places during that time. The committee meeting takes place today at 10 a.m.
You may remember it was back in May where Rehoboth Beach implemented a curfew after it said there were a string of youth disturbances. Officials there put in place the same rules as Bethany Beach, that's 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. In Dewey Beach, the curfew is also that same time from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. And in Pembroke Island, the curfew is midnight to 6 a.m.
Developing news in Milford, where a second gun has been found in schools in under a week. On Monday, an unloaded gun was found in a student's backpack at Milford Central Academy. Police there say they posted a photo of it on social media. Another student reported it, prompted action from school staff and police. Officials are continuing to investigate both cases.
Happening now, Colorado authorities say the man who used a makeshift flamethrower to attack people marching in support of Israeli hostages held by Hamas now is facing federal charges. According to Colorado prosecutors, Mohammed Sabri Solomon, a 45-year-old Egyptian national, is facing a federal hate crime as well as 16 counts of attempted murder. Investigators have looked to a residence that they say is tied to the suspect. They are also going through his cell phone and computers.
Now getting a live look at Washington, D.C., the U.S. Senate continues debate on the spending bill. It was recently passed in the House of Representatives, and there is debate over Medicaid.
As NBC's Alice Barr shows us, Democrats claim that plan cuts Medicaid and other programs, but Republicans say it is only ending taxpayer support for illegal migrants.
Tariff talks back in the spotlight this morning with reigniting tensions between the U.S. and China, threatening to derail trade negotiations, each side accusing the other of violating terms that led them to temporarily scale back steep tariffs. Administration officials have said President Trump and China's leader have to directly engage to get back on track.
I can confirm that the two leaders will likely talk this week.
That as higher steel and aluminum tariffs the president doubled to 50% are set to take effect tomorrow,
which will even further secure the steel industry in the United States.
The European Union says it's preparing countermeasures. Small businesses watching the shifting picture warily.
American businesses are paying these tariffs. I just know that we have 9 people, and if we don't get some relief soon of these tariffs, we're going to have 3 people.
It all comes as the Senate this week takes up President Trump's massive budget bill,
with the goal of getting the final bill to the president before the 4th of July.
It already passed through the House, but several Republican senators have voiced concerns over the projected increase to the deficit from extending major tax cuts and increasing defense and immigration spending, arguing there aren't enough spending cuts.
I would be very surprised if the bill at least is not modified in a good direction.
Even as protesters rallied against what the bill does slash to Medicaid and food assistance programs. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
We're just getting started in this hour of CoastTV News today.
Coming up, potential parking options in Dewey Beach. A solution from town officials now moving forward. This deals with the challenges of finding a spot for your car.
Also, Wallops worries how a proposed federal budget could impact jobs and tourism on the island.
And Disney layoff details what departments are dealing with after changes on Monday. All that and more as CoastTV News Today continues.
It is 5:11 on this cool Tuesday morning. Bay Health Cam and Dover 57. Sun's up at 5:38, so we're seeing brightening skies right now. 60 in Indian River Inlet and Rehoboth, but we've got 50s inland, even 48 in Harrington, but not as cold as yesterday morning as we have a very light wind at the present time. Looking at clear skies, that'll be the case all day with high pressure in place, but skies will be hazy to smoky later on due to those Canadian wildfires as high pressure provides another beautiful day. Here's Drivecast, hazy skies as we go through the morning hours with clear conditions. And this afternoon, I think it could be a little hazier, a little tougher to see the sun, especially into this evening with a green light and good travel conditions. And it should be a beautiful sunset with the smoky conditions.
Delaware DMV is rolling out a new licensed transporter tag aimed at streamlining business for vehicle transporters. The LT tag allows qualified applicants to move unregistered vehicles, including mobile homes, without needing a temporary tag each time. People must complete an application, meet all requirements, and pay a $50 license fee plus $10 per plate annually. New in Sussex County, some of the smallest hands are making a big impact, one crayon at a time. On your screen right now are kindergarten and first grade students at Sussex Academy Elementary who collected nearly 113 pounds of used crayons for the Crayon Initiative. That's a nonprofit that recycles crayons into new ones for children in hospitals across the country. The kids helped weigh, sort, and organize the crayons by color while learning math, science, and the value of helping others. And for more information on this project, you can head to CoastTV.com.
New in Worcester County, the health department there is offering free help to quit smoking or vaping. Classes are open to both adults and youth, and the sessions start in late June, early July. They'll be held at Snow Hill, Pocomoke, Berlin, and online. Organizers say trained instructors will guide you through stress management, communication skills, relapse prevention, and how to build your own quit plan. People can register online.
The Federal Trade Commission is investigating about a dozen media and advertising groups to see if they violated antitrust laws. The organizations may have been violating and coordinating boycotts among advertisers they work with. People familiar with the matter say the groups steered advertisers away from platforms where their messages may appear alongside hateful content. Advertisers say they have the right to spend their money on channels that align with their values. FTC Chairman Andrew Ferguson believes the actions might constitute illegal boycotts.
Disney was far from the happiest place on earth for several hundred employees on Monday. That's how many the House of the Mouse fired. The company says the layoffs are primarily jobs at work in marketing for movies and TV, publicity, casting, and development. It's just the latest round of job eliminations that have become commonplace since Bob Iger returned to lead the company in 2022. Those cuts have been relatively small compared to how many people Disney employs.
We're seeing hazy conditions right now on the Spicer Brothers Cam due to the Canadian wildfires. Smoky today with slowly improving conditions, I think, as far as the smoke goes as we go through the week. Temperatures soaring into the 80s this week. I'll track the smoke and the summer light temperatures coming up in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Time is 5:17, and you're getting a live look this morning at Delaware's capital city of Dover. And Bob, you've been tracking the effects that those Canadian wildfires will have on our area.
That's right, Matt, and we're looking at the smoke from that. Now, a lot of that smoke is aloft. That's a good thing. That means minimal health issues. There's a low chance that smoke could mix down today and cause more problems, but right now we're not thinking so. But if you do suffer from health issues, it's best to stay in filtered air the next couple of days. As we're tracking the smoke, you can see how the colors change from orange to red, and on the legend, that's high amounts of smoke in the upper layers, so that'll make the sky kind of white as we go through the afternoon and make for a beautiful sunset this evening, as those smoke levels are still pretty high even as we go into Wednesday morning, but it looks like slow improvement as we go through Wednesday morning. But it looks like that smoke is still hanging around a little bit as we go through later Wednesday, maybe early Thursday. The other big story is the big warm up Wednesday through Friday with a surge of warmth. We have a Bermuda high taking shape, the flow turning in out of the southwest, maybe our first 90-degree day, but I think we're staying in the mid to upper 80s, definitely feeling like summer as as we go through the week. Right now it's cool in Georgetown, 55, 54 in Millsboro, 60 Indian River, Inlet, Rehoboth, and Lewis, 51 in Willards. Yesterday morning we had a bigger coverage of upper 40, so it's just a hair warmer this morning with a light westerly breeze as we're looking at clear skies. But once again, those skies pretty hazy this morning and the rest of today as we have a big dome of high pressure just off to our south. So the air under that is a little stagnant, but I'm not seeing any air quality alerts or anything like that, but we'll certainly keep you posted if that changes. Anyway, big dome of high pressure here, and eventually that slides to the east and allows us to really warm up with time. And this morning we'll be warming up from the 60s into the 70s by mid-morning. By noon, 78 in Georgetown, 79 in Delmarva and Salisbury, even 74 at Bethany Beach. I think the beaches will warm up into the 70s today. Not everybody, and then inland 81 in Millsboro, 82 Delmarva and Salisbury. Then as we go into the evening hours, not as cool as this morning. By tomorrow morning with temperatures into the 50s and low 60s. And then here comes the bigger warm up on Wednesday, 85 Millsboro, 84 Salisbury, 83 in Delmarva, and even 70s from Fenwick Island up to Dewey Beach, and 78 in Rehoboth as we're looking at really warm conditions. And then as we go into Thursday, maybe a hair cooler as we increase the clouds. Not expecting anything in the way of storms, but that could take the edge off the heat just a little bit. As we're looking at the muggy meter, we're looking at comfortable conditions as we go into today and tomorrow, but then we start getting muggy to humid by the end of the week and into the weekend, bordering on very humid. As far as the next rain chance, it looks like it comes in on Saturday with some showers and storms. We get a break Sunday, then maybe more important rain builds in, more significant rain by Monday. So there is rain in the future, just not the next couple of days. Paul Davis 7-day forecast has us in the lower 80s today with the sun and smoke, still a little smoky into Wednesday, mid-80s. Thursday, I think, is the warmest day of the week, 87 with more clouds, mid-80s Friday, then that shower and storm chance Saturday. It does cool a little bit on Sunday with dry conditions, and then upper 70s Monday with a better chance of rain. And congratulations to Jerry Pirong from Milton on winning a brand new umbrella from Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling and Coast TV.
Happening today, Bridgeville's town leaders are set to meet tonight to discuss several important topics affecting the community. Key items on the agenda include an employment agreement for the town manager, continued discussions on the fiscal year 2026 budget, and planning for large events including a local golf tournament. Locals can attend in person or join online via Zoom. This will take place at 5:30.
Proposed cuts to a federal agency could hit close to home on Virginia's eastern shore. Billions of dollars could be slashed from NASA's budget. President Trump's proposed budget includes cuts to several programs. Funding for sounding rockets could be cut by more than 50%, and there's also no future funding for a balloon project. So two programs that do play a big role at Wallops Island in terms of jobs in tourism.
Don't know what the federal government's going to do. I'm hoping that they're not extreme, and I hope that people here are not affected by it, but if they are, we're going to have to figure out other things to do.
Trump's proposed budget does include an additional $650 million for human space exploration.
Up next on Coast TV News today, potential parking options in Dewey Beach. We'll tell you where a new parking facility could go in the town. Don't go anywhere. Some new parking options may be on the way to Dewey Beach. Town commissioners recently approved a conditional use application that will allow for a new public parking facility on the bay side of town at the former location of the Ivy restaurant. And local workers we spoke with say more parking is needed.
Even just these past few weeks, it seems like there's more people coming in compared to last summer, and we definitely do need to add some more parking in.
Dewey Beach's parking season is underway. Officials have recently approved an increased rate of $4 an hour. That season ends on September 15th. And Matt, today should finally be the start to summer-like temperatures. I know we've been waiting, especially you have.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this, and
yes.
I would imagine it could lead to an increase of people on the beaches.
Absolutely.
Though you guys were saying that you did see a large number of people on the beaches
weather
yesterday.
cameras yesterday afternoon, Bob and I saw some crowds in Rehoboth, which is nice to see.
Yeah, no, it was good. And boy, I think we're probably going to double that today as people look at these temperatures. We're warming into the 70s for the first time in a long time at the beaches. Ocean City, probably mid-70s for you, mid to upper 70s. Fenwick Island with hazy skies. UV index is high. Rip current threat is low. Winds are very, very light, so waves only 1 to 2 feet. In Lewis, we're in the upper 70s there. Mid-70s in Rehoboth with lots of sunshine. On the Bay side, here's Cambridge. We're in the mid-70s at noon, close to 80 by 5 with hazy, smoky skies, and Crisfield into the mid-70s. Your UV index is high and waves around 1 foot. More on the smoky conditions and the building heat coming up in the next half hour.
And after the break on Coast TV News today, Fire Department's funding, we'll tell you about the report set to be presented in front of Sussex County Council.
Also, substation situation deepens after an approval from a Delaware Senate committee. A decision from Sussex County is one step closer to possibly being reversed.
And smoky skies continue. We'll tell you how those Canadian wildfires will impact us here on Delmarva. Coast TV News today. We'll be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
Smoky skies today due to Canadian wildfires. The smoky conditions slowly improve over the next few days as temperatures soar into the 80s. I'll track the smoke and the warm temperatures coming up next.
Wind farm win. The Monday night move in the Delaware State Senate that could lead to overriding a Sussex County decision about the alternative energy project.
Airport upgrades. We look at the plans scheduled for review today in Georgetown.
Healthcare coming closer.
I'm really thankful for having an emergency room close by.
The approval in Millsboro for a new BB facility.
This is Coast TV News Today.
3rd, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, we're landing on 5:30 right now on this Tuesday morning, and it looks like we're going to have that warm up before the big warm up in temperatures.
Definitely sunny. I restocked on my sunscreen
I
over
heard
the weekends.
you said that.
Yes. That means I'm using it. Are you?
Currently, no.
Okay.
It's not sunny in here.
No, it's not in here, but outside.
I know yes. Maybe I'll use some later today, Bob.
That is good.
That's good. Good practice, Matt. I like that. Yes, and I think we'll need it later today as that sun angle's getting higher. Yes, the UV index levels are increasing as well. It's a cool start, however, with clear skies. 60 right now in Lewis and Rehoboth, 54 in Millsboro, 51 in Gumboro and Willards, 49 in Harrington, but we're not seeing the coverage of 40s like we saw yesterday morning. There is a light westerly breeze right now. That offshore wind should make it feel a little warmer at the beaches today as we have the clear skies, but what you don't see is the haze and eventually that smoke aloft that continues to affect us with high pressure overhead. We'll see those hazy skies as we go throughout the day. It's cool this morning, temperatures in the 50s, but as we go through the day, we've got the warm up on the way. By noon, maybe 80 in Long Neck, 79 Delmarva, and even 70s from Fenwick Island and Bethany Beach, and the skies become kind of white with that smoke as we go into the afternoon. If you have health issues, it's best just to stay inside in filtered air. Lower 80s in Millsboro, back through Long Neck, Delmar, and Salisbury, and then mild as we go into the evening. Should be a beautiful sunset with the smoky conditions. And finally have a nice stretch of weather to cut the grass. Did you hear that, Matt? Cut the grass. Good conditions today through Friday.
Top story this half hour is the visibility issues that Bob just talked about coming from those Canadian wildfires. This is what people in Saskatchewan are experiencing. There are over 10 active wildfires in that province. Officials said firefighters from across Canada are helping to fight those flames, and states like North Dakota, Michigan, and Illinois telling residents to pay attention to air quality. Minnesota issued a red alert air quality through Monday night. And we have an update to a story we've been covering for you for over 2 years. On Monday, the Delaware Senate released the Environment, Energy, and Transportation Committee, Senate Bill 159. If approved, it would overturn the Sussex County Council's decision last year that rejected a proposed power substation near Millsboro. It is a piece of wind farm project for our coast. A full Senate vote is scheduled for next week.
New this morning, potential change near the beach in Ocean City. Tonight, the town's Planning and Zoning Commission will review site redevelopment plan of a proposed 135-room hotel. According to documents we've seen, the applicant is Studio 3877. It's on behalf of Harrison Group's Hotels. Also part of the plans is proposed 3,800 square foot public restaurant. The site is 2600 Baltimore Avenue. That's the current location of flagship Oceanfront Hotel. Now looking live at the Isle of Wight Bay in Ocean City, the bay and others like it could get some help in cleanup efforts.
Today in Snow Hill, several grant requests are getting reviewed by the Worcester County Commissioners during a workshop. These include a matching grant of $850,000 for the Maryland Coastal Base Program. There is nearly $460,000 to Operation Circuit for the Family Services Program. Scheduled later in the workshop is a public hearing on CARES Act additional funding.
An update this morning on a study into the financial readiness of Sussex County's volunteer fire service. A presentation from officials is expected at today's Sussex County Council meeting. In a previous report given to Council, the consulting firm says the study looked at revenue, expenditures, and other challenges like infrastructure and volunteerism. The report says finances varied. Fire departments will have a chance to review the draft findings. Sussex County Council meets today at 10 a.m. And also at that same meeting, upgrade plans continue for Delaware's coastal airport in Georgetown. According to the Airport Advisory Committee, they're looking at a new parallel taxiway. Officials will discuss a FAA Airport Improvement Program grant and construction bids.
BB Healthcare is one step closer to a Millsboro location with a unanimous vote from the Millsboro Town Council.
And CoastTV photojournalist Matt Hipsman shows us the impact of the council's decision.
This is a great time for us because, we've been on this journey for almost 2.5 years from when we got the approval from the state, bought the property, and then waited for DelDOT as they built the bypass. And so this opportunity to talk to the council officially and get site plan approval was a key milestone for our project.
I'm really thankful for having an emergency room close by, and glad that it's going to get moving. It's just been talked about, and it's good if it gets started. We've had all that construction from the overpass, and now we're going to have this, and like it all to be finished as soon as possible. So I live in Plantation Lake, so I was concerned that it would be something I could see from my home, and as it turns out, it's not. So this is a good thing as far as I'm concerned.
I will not be happy until we have the facility open and ready for patients so that we can provide that emergency room care and walk-in care as well as medical office care for the people who live in this county.
I'd like to start out tonight by...
Happening today in Bethany Beach, discussion on the effects of the town's curfew. Police Chief Patrick Foley is scheduled to provide an update during the Police Accountability Committee meeting. Currently, people under 18 must abide by a curfew from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. And according to the town, this means they can't be in any public places within that time frame. That meeting takes place today at 10 a.m.
New overnight Colorado authorities say the man who used a makeshift flamethrower to attack people marching in support of Israeli hostages held by Hamas is now facing federal charges. According to Colorado prosecutors, Mohammed Sabri Solomon, a 45-year-old Egyptian national, is facing federal hate crimes as well as 16 counts of attempted murder. Now the rabbi is speaking about the unity in the face of what he says is an anti-Semitic terrorist attack.
You can feel incredibly sad, you can feel angry, you can feel a whole range of emotions. And the most important thing is we're here together. We've got each other's backs. We're taking care of each other.
Investigators have looked to a residence that they say is tied to the suspect. They are also going through his cell phones and computers.
We have a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, possibility for peace. We'll tell you how Russia and Ukraine could be taking a step closer to de-escalation and when new events are putting a strain on that development.
Also, Sussex Tech comes up short. They had a late inning rally. The Ravens softball team did in the state championship. Almost brought a title to Georgetown. Stay with us on CoastTV News today.
5:39 on this, kind of hazy Tuesday morning. Ocean City, 59 degrees right now. As we talked about, we've got the smoky conditions out there. Temperatures in the 50s right now, even 60 in Rehoboth, Lewis, and Indian River Inlet. Salisbury, 52. Gumboro, 51. Georgetown, 55. We do have a westerly breeze right now. That offshore flow should help you be, a little warmer at the beaches as we're looking at clear skies across Delmarva with high pressure building. building in. We'll see sunshine, but hazy and smoky conditions as we go throughout the day. Here's your golf forecast for today. Looking good as we're looking at sunshine, hazy sunshine into the afternoon. Warmer conditions around 82. Call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone. It's sponsored by Brockstead Mandalis Federico.
A really good looking putt there, Bob. Salisbury Police Department is now hiring, and there's a big incentive for those looking to join their team. The department is recruiting communications officers and offering a $10,000 sign-on bonus while positions remain open. And that goes along with a comprehensive benefits package that includes paid leave, medical and dental coverage, tuition assistance, state retirement, and even an on-site gym.
If you're a teenager looking for a summer challenge, the Millsboro Police Department has just the opportunity for you. The Millsboro PD Youth Academy runs July 10th through the 18th from 8 a.m. to 3:30 at the Police Department on West Railroad Avenue. Participants will build leadership skills, boost confidence, and learn how to work as a team under pressure, all while getting stronger and faster. To join, people can register online.
Caravel continued its dynastic run, picking up its 5th consecutive state title, this time a 3-2 win over Sussex Tech, ending the Cinderella run for the Ravens. Sussex Tech stepped onto the diamond looking to be the lowest seed to ever win the Delaware State Championship. Runner at third with 2 outs in the first, Peyton Lawston grounds one to third and knocks in the first run for Caravel with the infield single. It's 1-0 Bucks. Same score in the 6th. Caravel adds some insurance with 1 out and a runner at second. Lawston knocks in her 2nd run of the game, but in the 7th, the Ravens won't quit. First, a sac fly from Adriana Heck makes it a 1-run game and advances the tying run to third. Then down to their final strike, Lewis whacks one to short and beats out the throw to tie the game and send it to extras. What a clutch swing. But with a runner at second and 2 outs in the bottom of the inning, Mackenzie Hunter comes through with a walk-off RBI single. The Bucks win the state championship 3-2. A wonderful season for Sussex Tech falls just short. Meanwhile, Caravel hoists its 15th state championship, the most in Delaware softball history. Reporting from the University of Delaware, Luke Milai, DSN.
Coming up tonight on DSN at 6:30, it's Bayside Soccer. First, the girls' All-Star game. Then at 8:30, tune in for the boys' All-Star game. And you can catch the final score at 10:30.
There's one old 80s hit the fans are just never going to give up. Brace yourself. You're about to be rickrolled. Here's Douglas Hyde with today's Hollywood Minute.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you.
Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up is now in rare company, having just exceeded 1 billion streams on Spotify. The song was a big hit in 1987 and got a huge boost decades later, of course, thanks to Rickrolling, an internet prank that tricks people into watching the music video.
My God, what a melody.
A new teaser trailer is providing a sneak peek at Downton Abbey, the grand finale. It marks the end of the road for the franchise, which began as a hit TV series in 2010. Downton Abbey, the grand finale, arrives in theaters in September. Looks like the twin suns may have finally set on Mark Hamill ever playing Luke Skywalker again. The 73-year-old actor tells comicbook.com that while he appreciates his long run as Luke, it's time for Star Wars to look to the future and focus on new characters. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
Having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up now for free at coasttv.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
We're seeing hazy, smoky skies out there right now on the Tidal Health Cam, and smoky skies today and warm temperatures. We'll be warming up big time the next several days. I'll have much more on the smoke. I'll track that and the warm temperatures coming up in a couple of minutes. Stay tuned.
Is now 5:46, and we are taking a live look outside at Salisbury this morning. And Bob, it looks pretty clear outside there. The big story this morning is the smoke and haze from those Canadian wildfires. You have a very colorful weather map behind you, but you said colorful doesn't necessarily mean that's a good thing.
No, not at all, Elisa. But, you know, I don't think this smoke that is aloft will necessarily come down to the surface. In fact, the chances are low. There are no air quality alerts right now, but that said, if you do suffer from respiratory problems, it's best to stay inside the next couple of days, as it will be smoky. You see these orange colors turn to red, and on our legend, that's in the high range as far as that smoke. But once again, it's way up there where the jets fly, a lot of the smoke. There's a low chance that this could mix down as we go through the day, but that's going to give us a beautiful sunset for sure, and sunrise. And then it looks like conditions do improve a little bit as we go into Wednesday, but it looks like from Salisbury Point south, still some pretty thick smoke. I think it's going to be a couple of days before we really get this out of here. The other big story is a Bermuda high setting up offshore, and that will get us into a clockwise flow, southwesterly flow with surging warmth and humidity Wednesday through Friday. Maybe our first 90-degree day, but I think we're pretty much staying in the 80s. 82 today, 85 Wednesday. I think Thursday is our warm day, 87, and then 86 on Friday. And then Saturday still pretty warm, better chance of showers and storms, and mid-80s. Right now, we're in the 50s for the most part, except Harrington at 49, 51 in Gumboro. Not as chilly as yesterday morning, 60 in Rehoboth right now. We have a westerly breeze, and that's an offshore wind. That means warmer conditions at the beaches, so I think you're looking at 70s at a lot of beach locations today. Otherwise, we're looking at clear skies right now. That'll be the case not only today, but the next several days as this high over the top of us starts to slide to the east and we get really warm. Any kind of stormy weather is well back to our west, and we'll be dry the next few days. Here's Futurecast warming us up quickly through the 70s this morning, close to 80 by the noon hour inland, and look at the 70s from Fenwick Island, Bethany Beach to Rehoboth. That'll be nice with that offshore flow, but lower 80s from Georgetown to Millsboro, Delmarva, and Salisbury. As we go into the evening and overnight, clear skies, not as chilly Wednesday morning with 50s and 60s, and then look at this, 85 Millsboro tomorrow afternoon, 84 Salisbury, Seaford, so very warm there, 70s at the beaches as we increase the humidity as well. And then Thursday, I think we do increase clouds, temperatures maybe a hair cooler, but still mid-80s, and I think we will keep it dry. We are comfortable on the muggy meter, but then we start to see the muggy conditions returning Thursday, and then very humid by the end of the weekend to the weekend, certainly feeling like summer. Then we have a chance of showers and storms as a front is nearby on Saturday. Then I think a better chance of rain as we go into Monday. That could be a little more substantial. Paul Day of the 7-day forecast. We step up those warm temperatures, 82 today, 85 Wednesday, smoky conditions decreasing, 87 Thursday, more clouds, still warm into the weekend with showers and storms Saturday, cooler and drier Sunday, 79, and then maybe a more substantial rain by Monday and a high of 78.
Thank you, Bob. With Pride Month underway, Delaware is taking action in support. Governor Matt Meyer has appointed 9 people to the state's first LGBTQ+ commission. Meyer says the commission will focus on key policy areas like mental health, education, housing, and civil rights. According to Meyer, this will help shape policies to improve health care access and safety for LGBTQ+ Delawareans. Vice Chair Vienna Cavazos, sorry about that. John Kane and Leslie Legador are from Sussex County.
New overnight Russian and Ukrainian delegates met in Istanbul on Monday for a second set of direct peace talks, but as the attempts at diplomacy continue, so does the fighting.
Monday's talks came just a day after Ukraine launched a shock drone attack on Russian air bases in an operation President Volodymyr Zelensky said was a year and a half in the making. CNN's Reed Binion shows us how the new attacks could impact peace talks.
A brilliant operation was conducted on the enemy's territory against military targets only.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky speaking about a bold surprise attack on Russian air bases Sunday.
Against equipment that was used to deliver strikes on Ukraine. Russia has had very tangible losses, and justifiably so, as they deserved it.
Ukrainian officials said 41 Russian aircraft were hit, including strategic bombers. It's not clear how many were taken completely out of action. The attacks targeted airfields deep inside Russia, the farthest one roughly 2,800 miles from its border with Ukraine. Ukrainian officials said operatives smuggled the drones into Russia, where they were then hidden in mobile wooden sheds and launched once they were near the targets. Russian officials downplayed the attacks, saying some strikes were repelled, but several pieces of aircraft caught fire after attacks in other areas. It came just a day before Russian and Ukrainian delegates met in Istanbul for their second set of direct peace talks. The talks started late, lasted just over an hour, and ended with no major breakthrough. They agreed to work on a new prisoner exchange, but statements from both sides suggested little was achieved to bridge the large gap between their positions, especially regarding a ceasefire. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
The time is now 5:52, and we're going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
And today's coastal pet of the day, enjoying some fun outside. That is Harper, everybody. As you can see, Harper loves playing catch.
Aww.
And has a chance, does so every chance Harper can get. Harper was submitted to us by Pamela in Lincoln.
And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
Now scan that QR code at the top, get your friends to us here, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
Middle-aged women with a regular coffee habit could be setting themselves up to live longer and healthier. A study looked at women in their 50s who drank 1 to 3 cups of caffeinated coffee every single day. It found they were more likely to reach older age free from major chronic diseases and good cognitive, physical, and mental health. Researchers also acknowledged factors such as lifestyle and dietary effects in that study.
A new and more serious warning from the federal government about the recall of tomatoes distributed in 3 states. Food and Drug Administration has announced it's upgrading an ongoing recall of brand name H&C Farms labeled tomatoes because of a salmonella threat. It's the agency's most severe warning about the tomatoes distributed by Williams Farms Repack LLC. The FDA's Class 1 warning means people could become seriously ill or die if they eat the product.
It is 5:56, so we are going to take another look at our forecast.
Yeah, another comfortable day on tap today, Bob.
Yeah, bordering on pretty warm with temperatures in the low 80s. Of course, the other story is the smoke. We'll see hazy skies, beautiful sunrise and sunsets. But if you have health problems, make sure you stay inside the next couple of days just to err on the side of caution. Starting out chilly with 50s, a light westerly breeze today with hazy sunshine. We'll get into the low 80s. Around 82 is my predicted high away from the coast. I think at the beaches you're in the 70s. Paul Davis 10-day forecast, 85 Wednesday. I think that smoke just starts to disperse more and should not be a problem by the end of the week, but it's going to be warm Thursday. 87 with clouds, 86 Friday. Looks like our next rain chance comes in on Saturday. Some showers and storms, 84. Better half of the weekend on Sunday, 79. Maybe a more substantial rain on Monday, 78. And then we climb back through the 80s beginning Tuesday right through next Thursday with a mix of sun and clouds.
Thanks, Bob. And coming up in our next hour, override county ruling. That's what Delaware Democrats are attempting to do. The bill they are pushing that is moving closer to a vote in the General Assembly. That and more when we continue with Coast TV News Today.